In with eTrailer here. Today we're going to be looking at the Hellwig rear sway bar on our 2020 Ford F-150. Let's get into a couple features and then that install. So this rear sway bar is not a replacement like we've done for the front, but this is a add-on for the rear of this vehicle, giving it more stability going down the road. That way if you are towing or you happen to have a heavy load in the bed, it's really going to just brace that rear end of the vehicle like it should. I wanted to mention, as far as the look on this, it's got a great finish visually, but these pits on the finish actually serve a purpose as well. You'll see there's grease inside the bushings, and those pits are going to allow a spot for that grease to live, opposed to your factory bars, which are not going to have any pitting, and then the grease wears out, causing squeaks and noise and other issues like premature wear. Another great feature of the Hellwig sway bar is the adjustability. So you'll see that it does have a threaded rod to be able to adjust our height up and down to get our most level position for the bar, which we're going to be looking for. And then we do have these three positions here, which are going to be our tension positions, depending on what type of ride we'd like. If we've got a heavier load, of course, we'll have it in the heaviest position. And then if we're just driving around the city for a long period of time, we're just going to have it in the lightest position like we do for this neighbor. So I will say with the installation, it's not all that bad. We do have to run a couple plates that are going to go inside of the frame, so that's about as hard as it gets. But all that being said, if you don't want to try to tackle this on your own after watching the video, please do check out our dealer locator. We'd be happy to get you a trained professional that can install this for you. But for all those DIYers, let's go ahead and hop into that install. So we're going to start by taking our plate that's attached to the wire here. This is going to act as our backing plate for the front clevis we're going to be putting on. So we'll come up to this hole. There's one above the bump stops, but you're going to find one just in front of that, and that's where we're going to insert into. And we're trying to line those holes, one of the two, up with this hole here that's in line with our shock bracket. So that may take just a little adjustment. You'll have to fiddle with it until you've got at least one of the two holes on that plate lined up. Got it somewhat lined up, just to kind of help bring that into place. I've grabbed the bolt that's going to be going into it anyways, put a couple threads on there and just pulled that into a better position. We're going to raise up this clevis, and then we do want that facing with our bolt holes towards the side of the vehicle as much as possible. And we'll just feed that through to the plate. And again, you may just have to keep adjusting as you go along, because that little plate will want to dance inside of the frame. And then once we've got that into place, again, we're just going to want to try to have that as lined up with the rear of the vehicle as possible. And then we're going to torque to the spec shown in the instruction manual. We'll need to build the end links. Both of them are going to be built the exact same way. We're going to start with our threaded end, and we'll be adding on the larger nut that comes with the kit. That's going to work as our retainer on that link. We'll just get that down as close to the bottom, about an inch away, and that should be more than enough. Then we're going to thread on the other end of our link here, and we'll just go all the way down to where we've got the retaining nut. Then we'll need to push in these rubber bushings first, so easiest thing to do is just kind of get those set in place. And then you can use either a vise or a good pair of channel locks to do the exact same thing. And we'll want to evenly press that in, nice and slow. Then if you need to, once you've got that started, you can either push it in by hand or you could tap it against something and that'll finish it out and center it back up. We're going to have two of these insert sleeves that will go in the center of the bushing. Those you can just get started by hand like that, and then same situation, either that pair of channel locks or vice grips to get that pressed in. And we'll repeat that on the other side as well. Now we'll take the threaded end of our link here. We're going to run this silver bolt through that. So it may be a little tricky to get that in there at first. Just kind of give it a good wedge, and we're going to come through the back side with the bolt and then add the lock washer on the outside. We're going to leave all that loose just so we can get everything else up there. There's going to be 3 holes in the ends where the link can attach to. The outer ones are going to be your most stiff position, the inner your least. So what we're going to do is just go with the least for now, per the neighbor's request, and we'll slide the bolt with washer through the outside and then going on to the bar with another washer on that inside edge, and last the nut. I'm just going to leave all this loose while we get the rest of it hung. I'm going to be putting the D-rings onto the sway bar before hanging it all the way up, so we'll just need to lubricate the inside. There is a split that's going to allow us to go over the bar, but we'll start with that lubricant and we'll spread that out evenly. Then we're going to take that bushing and just get it over our outside edge loop here, so you can see there's one bend and then our second bend here, so it'll be on that second one, and we will add the D-ring bracket as well. Then we're going to follow the instructions as far as getting the U-bolts up here. We're going to have this run up in between the bracket because I found to be able to get that to line up, we're pretty much at the very edge of that bend. And then we will be adding our bracket here with the V-notch towards the axle, and then this is going to sit right below that, and we'll add a washer and then a nut to the end of each of the U-bolt studs. We're going to come to the passenger side now and do the exact same thing we did on the driver. And then we're going to want to torque these down to the specification shown in the instruction manual. What we'll want to do is just kind of alternate these between the two until we've got nice even pressure and then that torque spec. And then we're going to come through to the end links and get those torqued to the specification shown in the instruction manual, both top and bottom, and we will be repeating on both sides. That's going to do for our look at and installation of the Hellwig rear sway bar on our 2020 Ford F-150. My name's Ian with eTrailer. Appreciate you watching.